Welcome to week 5 of The Sinner. We're back again. It's Wednesday again. What's up, everybody? It's me again. It's Jessica. And yeah, week 5 of The Sinner. It's so crazy. I can't believe it feels like it's flying by so quickly. And we just finished this thing so recently that it's bizarre that it's almost over. Weird. Okay, what did you think of week 4? What did you think of the 4th episode? I think the 4th episode is super cool. I love the memory regression stuff. I don't really know much about that necessarily I didn't in my personal life. And I just really thought it, like I said last week, like drives the show into the middle, like sort of the midsection of it and into the ending, into the conclusion. And I just think it's so interesting that actually occurs. You really can have these memories that are repressed and that you don't really understand and you don't know where they come from. They could be a dream, they could be something else, and they can be brought up again and you can remember. That's actually factual. So it's really interesting. What's cool about this kind of work and these kinds of shows is you really get to learn a lot about psychology that you never knew before. It's really interesting in the human experience. I'm just looking at some of the comments coming up. Rachel is poolside reading the book. Yes. That sounds like an amazing afternoon. I really like the book. The book has this really kind of ominous tension to it. And like I said, it's different, but it's inherently, we're talking about the same kind of themes that we are exploring in the show. Someone named Jessica just actually got done with the book and is excited for tonight's episode because of the craziness that's going to happen. Oh yeah, it's going to get crazy, you guys. It's going to get crazy, believe me. Let's see. I'm seeing Sinner's amazing. Lots of love from Los Angeles. Rosario, thank you so much. We're just psyched that everyone's digging the show. I don't know what else to say, but besides that, it's so rewarding when the stuff you're working on is being received and people care at all about it. So we're just really excited that people are loving the show. Let's see. Sarah says, I'm 2 episodes behind, but OMG, this is amazing. This is going to be a show I think that you can really binge. So if you've missed it up to this point and haven't been able to see it, live or on the weekly basis, like it's been coming out, I think this is a really bingeable experience. I like binging. I actually think it's really hard to watch things week to week, even though I'm a huge fan of some shows and I actually do that. Like, for example, Game of Thrones, I, of course, am there watching every week. But it's hard to stop your life and sit down for a show. And so if you can't do it on this one, binge it. Binge it. Let's see. Oh, someone's from Colorado. Yes, Kyle. Go Colorado. What's up, 303? Let's see. Looking forward to the next episode. Do you have any advice for an aspiring actress? Oh, that's a good question, actually. I think the entertainment business is such a challenging business to be part of in general that the best advice I have would be continue to work no matter where you are, no matter where you live, no matter what you're doing, even if it's not what you want to do, even if you're doing community theater, but that's not your goal, if it's, I don't know, if it's just taking classes, if it's just working on, taking an improvisational course or whatever it is, keep honing the skill, keep, developing the muscle, the memory muscle, and the ability to be vulnerable and open in front of strangers and people, and the ability to access that part of yourself that you really have to when you're an actor, and you have to literally splay your heart out on the table in front of a bunch of people that you don't know. It's really weird. It's like a strange thing to do. So my best advice is just keep working at it and keep testing yourself. Keep doing things that are terrifying and audition as much as possible. And I think that's the best basis for really having, something under your belt, whether it's, an actual professional paying job or not. So when you do get that opportunity, which you will get, and you will then jumpstart your career, whatever that means for you, you'll be ready to go and you'll have something to draw from. Let's see. I'm looking at these comments to see if I can answer any questions for you guys for tonight or the rest of the show, because we're on again tonight, 10 p.m. Let's see. Let's see again. I'm sure you hate to hear this, haha, but I started loving you on Seventh Heaven. Why would I hate that? I think it's amazing. Seventh Heaven was truly, I grew up on that show. That was kind of what I was just talking about. That was sort of where I honed a lot of these abilities. They were not very good at that time. If you go back and watch that show, I think I could quite possibly be terrible. Probably terrible. But, you learn so much about lighting, and you learn so much about how to interact with another human being on a set, and what's set etiquette, and how you handle and manage yourself in a big scene with a lot of people. How do you work with your crew? Knowing the DP and understanding the camera guys, and being friendly with the sound guys, and understanding how we all work together. And without each one of those departments, this doesn't happen. If you don't have a good sound guy recording you, you're sunk. So all these little elements, are really important in this business, and specifically for my job. And I learned a lot of that on Seventh Heaven. And I look at that time in my life as what a gift, and what wonderful people I got to work with. So I really appreciate it. And no, I love that people have been watching that show and grew up on that show, and I did too. Okay, let's see. You guys are being so awesome. Thank you. I'm seeing a lot of comments that are saying people are just loving the show. And then Lacey is saying, are you hoping for a second season, or is this it? We kind of always thought that this was just a limited series. But, it would be amazing to have a second season. It's like one of those things that you try not to get your hopes up about, and you don't think too much about, because you don't want your expectations just to be crushed when you don't get a second season, or if you don't get a second season. But it would be amazing. It would be amazing we would, I think, kind of start from scratch and sort of really create something very unique again, like we did with this first season. But I don't know what it means exactly. I don't know what it would be. But yes, getting a second season would just be an absolute, it would be a huge score, and it would be super duper fun. And I hope we get it. Okay, what am I seeing here? Oh, we got some mom love coming in. Thank you. Someone was just saying that, like, go working moms. And yeah, working parents. I tip my hat to any working parent in the world. It is no joke, not easy thing to do. Okay, Melissa is saying something about the shows, the movie. Oh, I missed it. You guys, I'm sorry. I'm still not good at this. Do we find out who the blonde is from JD's yard tonight? Do we find out who the blonde is from JD's yard? That's a good question. Well, we definitely find out who all the blondes are at some point. Do you find out tonight? I'm not sure. I can't remember specifically if we find that out tonight or not. So I guess you're going to have to watch, and you have to let me know, because I can't even remember. What else, you guys? Shelly is asking, how has this role been challenging for you? Did you have to research mental health disorder to prep for this role? Yes. And, you know, it's so funny. As much as I did research, I just don't feel like it was enough. And I was actually talking to a friend of mine who is a psychologist, and just speaking to her, I realized, oh my God, I didn't do enough. I didn't put enough behind this to really understand, you know, these types of, you know, mental issues or mental disorders. And, you know, it's the one thing that I think I find that I always do that at the end of a project, whether it's a TV show or a movie. I always feel like, oh, now I get it. now I know what to do with this part, and it's over, you know? So you can just do your best. But this has been super duper challenging for me, extremely challenging and creatively interesting. And I'm interested in psychology and human behavior, so it's kind of a dream piece to work on, to really be able to, you know, explore what that is, even just a small facet of what that, you know, looks like, and just to learn. It's just fun to learn, and I think that's another reason I love my job. I'm constantly being forced to learn new things, and it's keeps my brain firing. I just missed something. Sorry, you guys. Okay, Jennifer is saying, how do you get yourself into the character of Cora when you do these scenes? It blows my mind how real this looks. Thank you. How do I get into the mind of Cora? You know, it's kind of a combination of taking whatever is going on with you that actual day, that moment, that minute that you're about to do a scene, and infusing it with all the work that you've done previously, like all the the investigative work that I did personally about all these different types of, you know, psychological disorders, and memories and PTSD and all of these very real things that affect different people. Taking that, you know, just taking an understanding of like what is actually happening. What can you imagine what it would feel like if you did something like this and then didn't know why, and then put your entire family at risk and didn't know why? I mean, that is a very scary reality. And if you can just start to like think about that, I would start to think about that and really let it sink in, like, oh no, this is really happening to me. And then take whatever it was I was using that day, or just whatever I was feeling that day, and infuse that, and then read the words, and it would move me, like genuinely move me. And I think that was sort of my way into finding the humanity and the empathy that I need to play a character like this, because you have to find it. You have to love your character, whether that person is a villain, a hero, the worst character in the world. Like you have to find the piece that makes you love them, and therefore you can bring them to life because you believe what you're saying. You know, no villain doesn't believe what they're doing. You know, they want to take over the world because that's what they genuinely believe is their passion, or that's their destiny, or whatever it is. So it's kind of an abstract answer, but it's kind of an abstract job, you know, trying to figure out how you do that. It's weird. I don't know. I hope that kind of made sense. Okay. Oh, I missed something about somebody who was a psychology major or something. Your sister in the show had such a naughty mind. I wonder if Cora's mother ever found out about it. I can't wait to watch. Well, we don't know. Well, we will have to watch to find out about it. Yeah, interesting about my sister character. You will be, tonight's episode, you will be introduced to her in a new way. And I think the relationship between Cora and Phoebe will become a little bit more interesting and complicated. And I think it's one of the very big driving, compelling engines of the show. So I'm curious to see how everyone responds to that as well. Let's see. Oh, Laura Ward is saying Bill Pullman is amazing in this. I agree with you. I think he is just phenomenal to watch. I find him like his brain is going a million miles an hour, and I just never know what he's thinking. And I feel like every time he says a line, it's not how I expected it to come out. You know, you read these lines, you're like, oh, he's going to say it like this because this is kind of how it's meant to be said. And he never says it that way ever. And he's always surprising. And you have compassion for him. That's what I feel like when I watch him on screen. I just want him to succeed, no matter what he's doing, even if it's weird. Let's see. Can you sing a song with me? Probably not the best idea. I mean, I can sing a little bit, but that was from someone in Italy, and I think you could probably sing it better than me. Let's see. How do you go back feeling yourself after acting like your character in that TV show or that movie? You gotta let it go. You literally just have to. You gotta leave it. You gotta leave it at work. Gotta leave it at work. Can't bring it home. It takes a minute to shake it off. I mean, I think it's like you gotta go home. You have to take a bath. You have to eat something. I don't know. Watch some bad TV. Watch a movie, and just let it go. Otherwise, you get kind of stuck in this hole, and it becomes this reality for you. And you have to remember, it's just not real. When I watch the show, I feel like punching your mother. That lady is an excellent actress. Yes, she is. She's amazing. My mother character is quite a complicated woman, and I think so interesting to see different generations of women interacting with each other. And what a meaty role. What a meaty role. And I think we cast the absolute most perfect woman to play it, because she is absolutely stunning and makes everybody's game high, raises everybody's game immensely when we're sitting across the table working with her. What's the most valuable thing you've learned from this part? Says Kim. God, that's a really good question. Most valuable thing. Wow, that's like a deep one. It's way over my pay grade. No, I'm going to think about that for real. I think it probably would has to do with, emotional availability, and how it's, you have to limit yourself, and you have to be able to give everything, but at the same time, keep it to yourself, hold it in, tuck it away. Sometimes that is the most compelling performance. When I think about the takes that I do, if we're doing like a big emotional sequence or something, the value of trying not to cry, the value of trying not to get mad, trying not to be upset, that is very, well, it's priceless. That's kind of creates a performance that is unexpected. So that's answering that question in terms of the creative. But I think valuable in life is, the understanding the mind and the body, and what the mind does to protect the body, how it actually works for us, and how valuable it is, and how powerful it can be, and how much respect it commands, and we should give it, and it deserves, truly, because human beings are incredibly complicated creatures, and our minds, our brains, the abilities that we actually have that we don't know, the power that we really yield that we don't know about, very valuable to understand, or at least to tap the surface of. Okay, let me see if I can answer one more thing before I got to get rolling here. Aliana says, how do you think Cora feels about being away from her son? I think she has incredibly mixed feelings about being away from her son. That sounds bad, but I don't mean it to. What I mean is, I don't think Cora ever really felt like she even deserved necessarily to have a son, or to be a mother. I think she's scared. I think she feels like she's constantly doing it wrong, and she thinks that maybe I got this wrong. I think she's insecure about it. So she really, really, really wants to be with him, of course, but there's this underlying thing of, do I even deserve to be with him? Maybe he's better without me. Obviously defense mechanisms, and obviously lots of pain and fear, all fear-based. But when she, really genuinely asks herself that question, I think the only thing that she wants in the world is to be with her son. but all the things that have happened to her up to this point have made her feel unsettled and on uneven ground when it comes to him. And she wants the best for him, and maybe she feels that she may not be the best for him. So it's kind of a complicated answer, but I hope that was interesting. You guys, thank you so much for chatting with me. Thank you for your questions. Really appreciate it. And watch us tonight, 10 p.m., The Sinner, USA, episode 5. That means 6, 7, 8. After tonight, only 3 more to go. It's really exciting. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day and talk next week. Peace.